What's good, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the DJs Take.
I'm Donnie.
And I'm James, and on this show, we talk about the music industry from a fan's point of view. Donnie, what are we getting into today?
We are going to be discussing where our few artists of our selection who we like are now.
We hate it. Where are they now?
I tell you.
Nah. All right, who you got up first? You have two, and then I have two, right?
Yeah,
right.
2 and 2. So for me, my first one is Fetty Wap.
Remy boy. Oh, what did he say? Him?
Yeah, it's just Remy boy.
Boy,
Yeah, baby. Man, I'm just very completely saddened.
What year was his year?
It was like 2014, 2015. That era.
To look up that year, too.
It was, you already know, bro. Believe me. 2014, 2015. 2015 to be exact, actually. Am I right?
It was released on my birthday, 2015.
Yo.
September 25th.
That's right, because it's summer 16 where it's crazy. So 15,
I
16.
knew it. I knew it. I told you because I was in the basketball season. So, but man,
tell the kids who Fetty Wap is.
Fetty was the greatest. Fetty, it was such a time to be alive, and I know everybody who's watching this knows that was the pinnacle of the time music. To be alive for music. It was amazing. I'm talking about this was Fetty Wap's era, and he could not miss.
Even the one-hit wonders were lit, like Cheerleader, Now Watch Me Whip, Watch Me.
Yeah, I Heart Memphis. He was out, and then we
Lemonade
even had
drop.
We had Ray Shermer going crazy with No Type. It was a wonderful time, and I want to say this was the same time where Future dropped his album, where Future. And then Hendrix, which was Mask Off, and it was an overload of music. Travis Scott, I want to say Goosebumps was out around this time. So this was just a period of time where it was crazy. But at the top, it was Fetty Wap.
He couldn't miss. Every single song was a hit.
Trap Queen, My Way, 379? Is that what? 369? What was it? But it was a wonderful, wonderful time. And he was one of my favorite artists at that time. And honestly, guys, I put all
679.
Trap Queen.
My Way, Trap
679, My Way, again. Sometimes I want,
And it's like, and the crazy thing is, it's like his second album, it was kind of like he had some singles like the Jimmy Choo. Like the Jimmy Choo reference. People are like, "Oh, Jimmy Choo with us."
Why do you think that he had such a high rise and such a fast decline? Almost more than anybody that we're going to list today. His decline was
so sudden. I say it all the time. Getting in your own way, not having the right managers and the people around you to help move you in the right direction, having people not managing your money. It can be a big thing. A lot of people that just get famous out of nowhere off a single will just be living a lifestyle that they believe they're supposed to be living, paying for everybody and their nieces and nephews. And then you can't keep up with that lifestyle. So instead of being able to focus on music, touring, being in the right places, instead you're dealing with debt that is crippling you and things that you owe. And it's just embarrassing. I remember when he was going down, when you called me, you said, "Bro, Fetty Wap is on what?
Love and Hip
Hop." And I instantly start crying. I was like, "Oh my God, what?"
He's on Love and Hip Hop. Now he's in jail.
Yeah, he's in jail. He's on I want to say trafficking charges
for
drugs.
Fetty.
So yeah, he disappointed me. Fetty Wap, if it was the stock market, I would be broke right now because I put all my stock in him. I used to talk so much trash to him because he's like, he's not going to be around much longer, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, he's number one. Oh, did you see him out on stage with Taylor? Did you see him out on the stage with Taylor
crazy.
On the 1989 tour? So it's just like, I was.
If someone has clout, she's coming. But
1987. But so I was disappointed when he fell off. But you were right. Hey,
I usually am.
Golly.
My artist is someone who was on the trajectory up, but I just don't know what's happening, and that is Normani. She was in Fifth Harmony. We all know that successful group. And then, Camilla left, and then they dropped one more album, the Fifth Harmony album, and that was decent. And then
what was on that one? Did it have anything?
I'ma keep loading you down.
Okay,
down.
I know that.
one. And
Honestly, that was a good song.
Yeah, and they had a couple on there. And then but then she did Love Lies with Khalid. That was like the biggest song of that year.
That's not all she know. Dancing with Strangers.
No.
I'm making sure. I'm making sure.
No, I'm saying she did Love Lies, and that song was
Huge.
like the biggest thing ever on the charts for long, and went into top 10. I think it peaked at number 9, but it stayed on the charts. It was like a SZA hit. It was on the charts,
on the radio. It was on everything.
So then I was like, great. I was like, then that's when everyone was like, oh, this is hers. Then she went with Sam Smith and dropped Dancing with a Stranger, and it was the first time Sam Smith dabbled in something like up tempo,
different, yeah,
and fast like that. Genius. You wouldn't even think that these two would be good together. Perfect. Another radio smash. Another top 10 for her. I was like, this is hers. It's over. Goodbye, everyone. Then she dropped Waves with Black. Got into a little bit of her R&B back. The video was insane. Normani, no one does music videos like Normani, period. No one performs like Normani. She's in a lane of her own. And then she dropped Motivation. No feature, no nothing, just strictly off her back. Exploded everywhere. Sick music video, killed it. And then she did Wild Side, another hit for her. Wild Side.
Oh yeah, I remember. She's been gone for so long that she's like, what?
I know. And then Silence. She did a little song called Fair after that, but it was no real push. But then Silence. Just she's gone. No, nothing. She's just gone. No social media posts. Nothing.
I kind of feel like that's betrayal to your fans to a certain extent. And I know it's her mom and dad got cancer. So I 100% understand why she left, and if that's, like her being gone. However, I do feel like there is a proper way to do it. With letting your fans know, hey, I need to step away, and because then we would commend you more for it. But just dropping off the face of the earth is never a way to do anything. Definitely for your career, because in this career, it's like it's either you're there or there's another person.
And the thing is, we were patient for a while because I'm leaving out a couple details, but between Motivation and Wild Side, there was a long gap there. But she got her fans right back. We were right there. Pushing that song,
and not just her fans, the industry was rooting for her.
Everyone.
Nicki Minaj was talking about
Ariana
her.
Grande had her on tour, opening up for her on tour.
Everybody was rooting for her. So I don't know.
Beyonce even.
It doesn't sit well with me that she just disappeared. I understand she did it for a great reason. Commend her for taking care of family. However, she's rich, right? I highly doubt you're spending every waking moment with your parents. Right. So on your side time, get in the studio.
And then, and then her rollouts, like she just announced about a month ago that she's releasing her album Dopamine, which sickening cover, and I'm hyped for it. But then we didn't hear anything for a month. Then she just announced yesterday or the day before that she's dropping her single 159, and it comes out next month. So I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you dropping the album? Then we don't hear anything from you for a month. Then you say I'm dropping a single in a month. It's just like,
it's like what I said with Fetty Wap. Clearly, she doesn't have the right team members in place.
And she had Brandon Silverman, and apparently he's a disaster. But she dropped him, and now I believe she signed to that manager that has Ariana Grande.
Okay, clearly he ain't helping. Something needs to go. Something needs to get figured out, because she's too talented to be left behind. And then she also has to remember, it's all about right now. We live in an era of more than instant gratification. I have to have it immediately. TikTok is giving me the next hit. I need the next hit. And we have an access to Apple Music, Spotify, and we just have music like that. So if you're not producing, you're gone. And everybody, it's funny because one of my favorite artists is Future. And the Migos too at the same time. And I remember everybody's like, Future always drops music. Future's always he drops too much music. But Future kept his foot on everybody's neck, and he's one of the biggest artists.
The thing is, you get fed as a fan because your favorites are Future and Chris. So you're just eating. You're gluttonous.
Keep dropping them 40 albums, my boy.
Gluttonous. And I think Normani does get in her head a lot. She says that she's incredibly insecure, like SZA, when it comes to like putting out stuff, because in Fifth Harmony, they did go in on her. You know how it is when you're the one black person.
Yeah, it's
especially
sad to hear.
back then. The fans really hated her. It almost broke my heart.
So
there was a little signing that they did, and you saw all the girls literally directly pass her and get everyone else to sign their stuff. I was like,
That's awful.
Jeez.
That's awful. But at the same time, this is what I say: if she's so insecure where she is allowing it to get in the way of her career, she needs to have someone who is in place that just says, "I don't care what you say.
We drop it.
I drop your music when I see fit."
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
either, you can't have it in between, or you're just not going to do well.
Yeah, but we're rooting for you, Normani. Hopefully you come back because you are great. Okay, so who do you have next?
Oh man, one of my favorites, Katy Perry. Guys, I know we all know Katy Perry was one of the greatest forces to ever walk this earth in the pop industry. Her climb to success was wonderful.
The 2010s are hers.
She lasted a decent amount of time, but not as much as a legend as she is in my eyes. She should have lasted a lot longer. I don't know what happened. I really am confused because it's like her last album that was okay, and it was what, Prism with Roar.
No. Her last album was Smile.
Huh?
The clown one.
Yeah, I don't care about that one. I said the last album.
Oh, that
I
you cared about?
Yeah.
Oh, Prism.
And honestly,
yeah,
Prism
yeah.
only had like 1 or 2 songs on there. It was Roar. So when you go from Teenage Dream with Last Friday Night, Teenage Dream, California
we need to
Girls.
understand how big Katy Perry was. Teenage Dream had 5 number ones. The only other person to do that was a little artist named Michael Jackson. So that was she dominated.
She was a dog, and she was wonderful. It's like she was everything you could want from a pop artist, and with vocals, she can sing.
Visuals were
her
crazy.
Visuals were amazing, and she was just fun, man.
Let me tell you, am I giving her too much credit? Was she like the person that really a budget started coming into the modern day music videos? Because I don't think anyone had more
Lady Gaga, I would say.
They're the same time.
You think she was budgeted? No, Lady Gaga was earlier.
She's more artistic.
Lady Gaga was already like, it's crazy because Lady Gaga was like solidified with her first song, Just Dance.
Yeah.
So like she was like a pop star.
It's crazy. Rip. Katy Perry, do you remember we were in middle school how scandalous I Kissed a Girl was?
Oh my
that
goodness.
Was like WAP. Like for them, that was like,
I was like, oh my god, I can't believe she's talking about this
Kissing a
on
girl.
the radio.
My dad's head was spinning. He was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was
now that's like they probably play it on Disney
PG-13. So her decline was just
when she cut her hair. When Katy Perry cut her hair, y'all turned, because Donnie, before Taylor Swift, he was a Katy Perry fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when she cut her hair, Donnie was disgusted.
Absolutely. And I want to say she started dating Orlando Bloom. I want to say when her career just started going down. Yeah. No offense to you, Orlando Bloom. Wonderful in all your movies. But that's when it started. I noticed the decline, like Bon Appetit and stuff. I was just like,
But here's the thing. I'm clearly in the minority. She's never, ever, ever missed for me. Like I have here Witness pulled up. Swish Swish, banger with Nicki Minaj.
No.
Chain to the Rhythm, banger to me. Bon Appetit with Migos, banger. Act My Age, banger. And then we moved to Smile even, which I know people are like, don't even look at me if you like Smile. But I liked Smile. Harley's in Hawaii. You and I always in Hawaii.
I'm lost.
And then she had a song with that DJ. I'm not sure, but it was 365. Fire.
I stopped at Prism, y'all.
It was so good. I just don't. Y'all hated so bad on my girl.
Crazy thing is, I want her so bad to win, but it's just I'm just not interested.
She got her hair back black, and now she's a judge on American Idol, which.
She's just doing American Idol, which she's a wonderful human being. And wonderful thing is her and Taylor Swift squashed the beef, and she was at her concert. So that was pretty cool. I was hoping maybe that would give her maybe a resurgence in her career, But
hopefully Taylor Swift apologized for her actions.
For making that diss track and getting the greatest rapper of all time, Kendrick, to come and hit her too.
Yeah, well, Katy Perry got Nicki on her diss track.
Then she just lose her diss.
To be honest,
in your opinion,
to be honest, Do you think that that's why she started flopping? Because Swish Swish was on the album that started flopping, where that's a direct diss track to Taylor Swift. Do you think that people hate her because
I think
of
there
that?
was other subtle diss to Taylor in her career. I just don't really know where to pinpoint it. But I don't know. But I wouldn't say that Taylor ended her career. I think that she, unfortunately, I would think she was married, or was she dating that weird? Well, it's not Weird Al. Who was that one weird guy she was dating? That comedian. I forget his name. But she was there dating him. Did she have a kid with him too?
No.
She had a kid with Orlando Bloom. So it all started with Orlando Bloom. So she ended up having a kid, and that takes time from you. Definitely, if you want to be a present mother. So I just think music wasn't really the focus. And sometimes in your career, which the honest truth is, and I know it sucks to say, but Beyonce and Taylor Swift, it took, like, Taylor Swift don't even have a kid yet. Beyonce took so long to have a kid. So they were like the greatest things in the world, and then they had children. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe that has to do with something of it.
Yeah, do you think Katy Perry can have a comeback?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so whenever you have hits like she does, and then a great Super Bowl performance as she did also, I think that the sky's the limit, and I think all it takes is one right hit. I would very much encourage her to keep her ear to the underground and seeing what a lot of the younger girls are doing at the same time, and make sure that she makes a TikTok pop hit.
And I think that Katy Perry needs to not be so camp. I think the camp style was very 2010s, and I think she hasn't evolved. Like Nicki Minaj was camp, Lady Gaga was camp, Beyonce was camp, but they evolved out of that style. Katy Perry is still in that style, so I think she just needs to evolve in that, and I think she'll be cool. And let's not get it twisted. Katy Perry, probably more than anybody, any pop star in the 2010s, her records are gonna outlast a lot of people.
She's a legend, and
Fireworks is gonna get played to the end of time.
Yeah, like she's a legend already. Like, she's getting her gold jacket. Like,
it's a wrap.
She's in the Hall of Fame. It's just her career in that short amount of like 5-10 years was legendary. You can never go wrong with it. Like, I couldn't ever say, oh, Fetty Wap gets a golden jacket now. No. He didn't do what she done.
And speaking of who won't get a golden jacket, our last one is August Alsina. He just makes me almost want to cry, because arguably, I'm willing to argue.
I'm genuinely sad right now.
I'm willing to argue that Testimony by August Alsina is the greatest R&B album since 2000 till now.
And I would go a step above that. I tell you this all the time. Testimony was arguably, it's hard to have a perfect album. His album was perfect in every shape and form. It had every single type of song you can want from it. Fast, slow. And I know I'm going to get heat from all the R&B heads with Brian McKnight, all the R&B greats. Usher. It's one of the greatest. It is the greatest R&B album in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I wouldn't say greatest past the 90s. Like, I would say 2000s on.
Yeah, we can do that.
I would say 2000s
because it's not true R&B.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like, even if you think about it, like, even when you put Confessions compared to it, Confessions is a wonderful album, but it has the majority of the bulk is Confessions and a few more other songs. Yeah. There's some songs.
Was that after the 90s? Because I might put Confessions above it.
But think about it. There's some songs on Confessions you're like, okay, that's good. But there wasn't one song on Testimony that wasn't like, man, oh my goodness, and it wasn't on rotation.
And I think we liked, especially you really liked August because he was a different type of R&B artist. We really believed like he was like low key, like hood.
That's why he didn't last.
Yeah.
And it's because gimmicks don't last. You got to be authentic. You got to be your real self. And if you were a flower child and that's who you were, then you should have been a flower child, because you robbed fans from a lot of the real identity of who you were.
The thing is, he could have been. He probably would be still successful, because right now, like, flower child, that's it. If he would create the bangers still.
The crazy thing is he still has wonderful songs. I listen to some of his songs right now to this day. His new songs, they're good. Like Don't Matter to Me, and If You Call My Phone Tonight, like it's hard, bro. It's good. But what I'm saying is, I bought into a persona. I bought into who I thought you were, and then you deviated, and the story I had of you in my mind, in my opinion of you changed. So it's not because the music is under par. And I think that's the overwhelming majority felt the same way. We felt like we were bamboozled because you aren't who you said you were. You know, when you're like, you know, word around the block that someone got shot and you were hard, and then after that, you're just like, oh, peace, tranquility, the words flow. It's not who you are.
And then the whole Will and Jada thing, just you're corny.
Yeah, that was corny. I'm not gonna lie, you were a snitch, and
then you release a weak song. That. You're so corny.
Like,
you're
bro,
so
really?
corny.
Like, that's what we're doing? Like,
Yeah.
come on, stop it. Stop hanging around them Smiths, man.
And I'm like, well, at least thank you for doing Testimony, because that's still in rotation. So.
Still on rotation, and it's just he was falling off whenever he dropped his
hip hop. That's when I knew.
What was
it was
that
over.
album, Around the World, or what was it called?
Let me see.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I can't remember it. But it wasn't really worth remembering. It wasn't that good. It had like 2 songs on it, and it was like
This Thing Called Life.
This Thing
That's
Called
what
Life.
it
But
was.
yeah, Song Cry was good after
Yeah.
Jay-Z song, so like that was good. But
Yeah.
he fed us an image that wasn't you, and that's why I believe he's fell off.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, these are just some honorable mentions for some hip hop artists that fell off, and I definitely agree with some. Some I don't agree with. We have Bow Wow. How y'all feel about Bow Wow?
Fall off.
I don't think.
No,
he fell
Bow Wow
off.
had a strong career. Like
From 4 years old to 24.
Yeah,
he
like-
had a 20-year career.
yeah, like you got to give it to Bow Wow. Like Bow Wow was probably one of my favorite artists of that time period. Like
the prototype.
Yeah, he was awesome. I can't say Bow Wow fell off.
Okay, we have Fat Joe.
Fat Joe actually had a resurgence in his career.
Yeah, all the
Like
way
out
up.
of nowhere, he just like, what was it called? Another round with Chris Brown, or another one?
To me, it's like every time
was all the way up.
it seems like he's gonna
No,
fall
that's
off.
from Remy.
It seems like to me every time it's gonna fall off, he just puts out another song that blows up.
Yeah,
like
like
all of a
all
sudden
the
he's
way
like,
up.
"Where's Fat Joe been? All the way up." You know, it's
because
just
Fat
like,
Joe, and it's like more that he's not an artist anymore. He's an influencer. People
Yeah.
just like Fat Joe and his personality. So
He's
I
a
think
great storyteller, like actually going on the interviews.
Yeah,
Like I love every interview.
He's funny.
Fat Joe
Okay.
does.
he's a good person too.
now we have. Here's where I'm starting to agree. We have Iggy Azalea.
Woo,
Uh,
yes. That was around the Fetty era.
So
too.
yeah, it was
2014.
Yeah, it was. I remember because I was used to. I remember because
I know where- I
I
didn't
didn't
know-
no mediocre. I don't want no mediocre. I don't want no mediocre.
I know
Hey.
exactly why she fell off. but I'll let
Fake.
you
Just
do
like saying like August. You saw us a persona that wasn't you. You weren't authentic.
That's not it for me. I
What
think
was
this is. I think this is what it is. I do think that's why a lot of people hated her. I think she was signed to T.I. and T.I. brought her around the culture, and she got all that radio play and went all to all the radio stations. And then she was like, "All right, I don't need little T.I. I'm gonna sign to these big corporations, the men in suits," and they commercialized her. And then you turn tacky.
She's
instead of
doing the
being
exact
really down
opposite
with the
thing
culture.
Jack Harlow doing.
Yep, exactly.
The exact opposite.
Yeah,
I agree.
she went corporate, but again, like I said with Katy Perry, I tell Tim this all the time. She hasn't fell off for me. Every song that she's dropped after this in her albums, fire. Team, the song, baby, I got me, fire to me. But everyone else,
that was
found
my
her.
song.
Yeah, like that was.
I got,
Yeah,
that was it.
only friend I need. And then
It's like as soon as Swaggy P did her dirty.
yeah, and
That
she's so corny online.
Yeah, she is corny.
She's so corny online. But yeah,
All right, a couple more. Ja Rule, he definitely was one that fell off.
But he had a peak of like 5 to 7 years that was just his. So I really can't say he fell off.
But
He's
here's
so
the thing, right?
extremely
The way he was up,
No, I
he
agree
was
with
going
you.
to be a legend, and now
Well-
he's completely clowned
Well,
out.
you gotta-
He is clowned
So
out.
you
that's
got
straight up.
thank you 50 Cent for that.
Well, that's just because he is from a corny era. So is 50 Cent's corny now too. Let's be real. You know, he just start putting on suits.
Donnie said that.
Donnie said that. I did
Henderson-
not say that.
Donnie
Donnie said that,
Henderson.
50.
Listen, let me
His
I love
social
you, 50.
security number is
Let me-
Always
let-
been
let-
not corny.
let me
Don't
finish.
let no
what-
one take that away from me.
Let me finish what I was saying. So when I say they're from that corny era, I'm talking about like these men will still be wearing baggy jeans and a fitted New York hat and think that's it. You get what I'm saying? Like they still are in that style of frame, and we're not there anymore. So it's just they got to get past that. So, but yeah. So the point is that they do corny things, and that's why they don't survive.
I feel what you mean.
But like 50 Cent, he became a mogul. He became in business. He wears suits now, so you don't see the corny.
Ja Rule's just forever iconic for just having the deepest.
Yeah. But yeah, now I get what you're saying, Tim. He did fall off.
Yeah. And you could say 50 Cent fell off too as a musician. Now,
No, I wouldn't say
he leveled.
so.
Now here's what I'm saying. He leveled up in other ways, but his music, there's nothing he can do to make new music and they blow up. It's just done. That era is just dead.
I'm not saying 50 Cent fell off. 50 Cent, in my opinion, it was his time to go. It was done.
He's an era rapper.
Yeah,
50 Cent is
done.
almost a 1-album wonder for me.
2 albums. You're crazy.
Yeah, he's
Two
out. And then he got his whole G Unit stint. So
Get Rich and Die Trying and Massacre are two of the best albums of all time.
We have to count his G Unit
but
days
Get Rich
too.
and Die Trying's definitely the album. Like,
there are some people who would disagree with you. The Massacre is fire.
Absolutely.
It is fire. It's like Illmatic and Stillmatic by Nas. It's like everybody knows Illmatic until they listen to Stillmatic and go, "Ooh, yeah, Stillmatic was pretty good too." You know,
maybe.
Yeah.
But the last one is, and I agree with this one too. Even though he is doing his thing in other ventures, his music is gone. A$AP Rocky.
Yeah.
I was never hip to A$AP.
Oh, long live A$AP.
Long live A$AP.
I was never really hip.
That pistol go. Dun, 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 dun. Bro, A$AP was arguably like one of my top artists at one time. Like all I did was listen to A$AP. So I agree. His fall off was like I think it was by choice. I think it was like this is just what I want to dabble in. This is what I want to do. But A$AP, he fell off. You know, he got more into the modeling.
Wait,
Dior
speaking of that, let's talk about
Wild
someone
for
else.
the Night with him and Skrillex.
Let's talk about someone else who fell off. His wife, Rihanna.
I don't co-sign it. Now that's crazy. See, he talking crazy.
No. She didn't.
If we're getting on me about 50, he gonna say his wife fell off.
How can you?
She didn't fall off. She stepped off.
She's on an extended vacation.
She's too busy making billions.
Here's what's crazy about Rihanna, and I don't understand what's happening. It's like Taylor Swift will have like 101 streaming on Spotify, and Rihanna's second place at 80. When people are just streaming Rihanna like it's like she just dropped. I wouldn't do anything else either if I was Rihanna. Just kick your feet up.
When you do your job great for the first 10 years, you don't have to do anything else.
People are consuming the music like she just dropped last night. It's crazy.
It's when you produce quality pop music, for a 10-year stretch, you don't have to. It speaks for itself.
All right, so now's a new segment that we've been featuring on, the DJs Clap Back. What do we got?
All right, this one's for you, James. If Taylor did it, she would have debuted at number 1. And underneath that it says, true, when Taylor switched to pop, she debuted at number 1, but good for Beyonce.
All right.
See what you did. Now everybody has to insert Taylor's name whenever Beyonce is getting her flowers. It's all because of him.
First of all, I never once in that TikTok referenced Taylor Swift. I just said your favorite couldn't do what Beyonce did, and my statement still stands because your favorite could never.
That's why he be sneaking.
Your favorite could never do it. And since you guys want to bring up Taylor Swift, going from pop to country or from country to pop is everyone does that. Everyone goes from R&B to pop, rock to pop, R&B soul to pop, rap to pop. Everyone's done that. No one has went from R&B to country. That would be like Taylor Swift going from country to R&B soul, which even the most delusional Swiftie knows in order to sing R&B, you actually have to have vocal ability, which Taylor Swift doesn't have. So when you're talking about people who have singing ability,
that's why you get all this
that's why when you're talking about people who have singing ability, don't bring up Taylor Swift's name ever in life. So Swifties out there, don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the Cruel Summers and the Shake It Offs that you're used to, okay? Thank you.
See, that's why you be getting all this smoke in the world, because your take is just so extreme. But I would say that I agree to an extent that, guys, it is far more difficult to go from pop or R&B to country, even though she's a country woman. She's from Texas.
She is from Texas.
So, but regardless, it is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Hard thing to do.
And whenever Taylor Swift drops that hard R&B,
I don't co-sign anything else slander thing he said against Taylor. Just want to put that out there.
And when Taylor drops that hard R&B song, let's all huddle around and laugh.
I'm gonna be so hyped if all song she drops the album is the hardest album ever.
She's spitting. She's like lyrical lyricist. All right, but on that note,
You've been clapped.
you've been clapped.
Whoa.
You just had to go a step.
Whoa.
You've been clapped.
We're gonna work on that one. We're gonna workshop that one.
We're still workshopping. It's a new segment. It's a new
Just trying to figure it out.
All right, guys. But on that note,
I'm Donnie.
and I'm James, and this was another episode of
The DJ's Take.